Okay, whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, my name is Devin Godoldig, and I'm going to be talking to you about exotic animals as pets. I chose this for my informative speech topic because it's actually very prevalent in the United States. It's a very big problem. So my goal from this speech is I want to help you understand how dangerous this is and how big of a problem it really is. So today I'm going to be talking to you, I'm going to give you a brief introduction, I'm going to talk to you about the prevalence of it, give you some statistics, some problems that come with owning these exotic animals, and some cases, the most well-known cases, and I'm going to include a 911 phone call that you'll never forget. And I'm also going to give you a final message, a little conclusion. Wild animals belong in natural habitats, not in captivity as pets. They're almost every time you own one, it almost always proves to be fatal. It's a very bad situation. My mom gave me this quote. A lot of people don't seem to remember it, but it's very well known. You can take the animal out of the wild, but you can't take the wild out of the animal. These are some statistics I found. So between 1990 and 2011, there have been 75 deaths attributed to exotic animals. They give you the species, like the big cats, which are tigers, lions, tigers, and jaguar. 21 deaths have occurred. Reptiles, which are most likely pythons and constrictors, there are about 18 deaths. Elephants, which was most likely in zoos or in circuses, 14. They're known for crushing their trainers. The bears, which there weren't really that many because a lot of people don't own bears. They're just fed in the wild. And then the marine, the killer whale, there were 2, and that was most likely in SeaWorld. And then there were other ones. People were owning elk, buffalo, deer, and they were usually crushed. So the other ones, between 5,000 and 7,000 tigers are kept as pets. There's more actually in captivity as pets than there are left in the wild. Another one I found, this was reported incidents involving pets. Incidents usually are not just scratches, they're usually loss of limb or a serious injury where they have to go to the hospital. And as you can see, there are more incidents than deaths, but there still are a lot of deaths that occur from it. And this is state exotic animal laws. As you can see, Pennsylvania does not ban dangerous captive wildlife, but requires permits for some species. So as you can see, there are some, like California and Oregon, they ban most dangerous captive wildlife as pets, which would be big cats, bears, wolves, primates, and some reptiles, but a lot of states don't really regulate it. So what are some problems that come from owning these animals? There are many problems. They transmit a lot of diseases, which could be rabies, measles, hepatitis A, and this is only a small amount. There are other ones like tuberculosis and monkeypox. Some of these, they're not very serious, and some are life-threatening, and some are fatal. Another problem is that they require special care. It's not just owning a dog or a cat. For housing, they need very large enclosures, and they need to be strong fences so they can't get out. But nothing will compare to the acres that they can run in the wild. So no matter what kind of cage you have, they're not going to be happy with it. For diet, they, like tigers, they require extreme amounts of food. According to the Humane Society, tigers can eat up to 100 pounds of meat at one time. This is a lot of money if you've ever purchased meat at a store. 100 pounds is a lot. And a lot of people who own exotic animals don't just have one. They'll have a tiger, they'll have a leopard or a bear. So this is a very large problem, and it costs a lot of money. And one of the biggest problems is that one mistake is all it takes. I can't reiterate this enough, and these mistakes could be reading the animal wrong, aggravating it, approaching it during feeding time, and the biggest one, turning your back. I'm going to go over some example cases, like the case that involved Travis the chimp, the local bears that were fed by an elderly woman, Donna Munson, and a Siberian tiger attack owned by Cynthia Gamble. So this is the most well-known case. It's the most horrific case in United States history. This occurred February 9th in Stamford, Connecticut. Travis the chimp was owned by Sandra Harold. She bought him as a baby and had him for many years. After a small incident of him getting out, the Department of Environmental Protection sent her a letter saying that she needed to get rid of him because this is a disaster waiting to happen. She ignored it, didn't do anything about it, and one evening, Charla Nash, one of her friends, arrived at the residence to see Travis. She's known him since he was a baby. She didn't realize that this experience would ruin her life. Travis got out without hesitation and attacked her. He smashed the bones in her face. She no longer had hands, nose, eye sockets, or lips. Police arrived at the scene and shot and killed Travis. There have been other documented cases of chimps brutally attacking their owners, but this was the most well-known one. So this is a very common thing when you own a chimp. I was going to show a little video that goes along with that. This is a 911 phone call that day.
What's the problem with your friend? I need to know. He ripped her face off? Okay, I need you to calm down a little bit. They're on the way.
Please, hurry up! He's killing my girlfriend!
241 Rock Driven Road, first name someone has a gun trying to kill somebody.
So that was a little clip I found of what was going on during that day. Another case was Donna Munson. She was an elderly woman, 74. She used to feed a bunch of black bears outside of her home. She considered them her pets and her babies, and she thought they were never going to hurt her. At one point, she fed them so often that 14 showed up in her backyard, and she didn't think there was a problem with it. They weren't really afraid of humans anymore, so at one point authorities had to come and put a lot of them down because they would wander into other people's homes and look for food. Authorities continuously asked her to stop because this became such a problem, and one evening she went to feed one of her pets and a 400-pound black bear pulled her under her fence and killed her. Her body was found the next day next to her walker. And the last case I found was in Minnesota in 2006. Cynthia Lee Gamble owned a male Siberian tiger, among other animals like snow leopards. One evening she actually took her snow leopard out and slipped, and he bit her and took a chunk out of her throat. She was okay after that, but she actually joked to her parents that her animals were going to get her sooner or later. So she knew something was going to happen, she just didn't really do anything about it. She refused to give them up. So one evening in 2006, she entered her tiger enclosure, didn't realize the inner gate to the enclosure was open, and the tiger came and attacked her and ate her, and her 14-year-old son actually witnessed the entire attack. So my final message is these animals are dangerous. No matter what you think, you can't change them. They only have one instinct in life, and that is to kill. It doesn't matter if you're human, you're not going to change their instincts. And one mistake is all it takes to be another statistic. Thank you.